This is Romeo, our 22-year-old ball python. He will be 23 as of December 15th, 2025. We've had him since he was 6 months old. He's never had a heating rock in his aquarium, nor has he had any form of a hydrator, something that will spray his aquarium and cause a lot of mist, due to the fact that pythons can suffer with pneumonia very easily and lung problems. It's one of the leading causes of their deaths. So what we do instead is prior to him shedding, which is approximately anywhere between 2 and 3 months, he'll go through a shedding process that takes about approximately 6 days. So we will actually fill the bathtub up with lukewarm water, something that you would be able to consider slightly warm when you put your hand in it, but not warm enough to cause too much heat for their body. And we do this every day for the full period, right up until the day of shedding. And this prevents having to have a mist machine or a environmental control machine that sprays mist into his aquarium, again because of the fact that they do have they can get respiratory problems very easily. You make sure your bathtub is free of all debris when it comes to soap or skins, like from your body from taking showers and baths inside the bathtub. Always make sure your bathtub is nice and clean and smooth, and that way the water stays nice and clear for them. And make sure there's no hairs floating around in the tub. Leave him in the water and let him swim around. Ball pythons are not water snakes, so it's not uncommon for them to keep their head underwater and not realize what they're doing and practically drown. They are a rock python. They don't climb trees, and they can swim if necessary, but chances are they not likely will. When we got Romeo, he was approximately, I'd say, 16 inches long. Right now, he's approximately somewhere around slightly over 5 feet. And pythons do continuously grow the full length of their life, even though it may not be in length, it may possibly be in girth. And here's one of the reasons why we are doing this. As you can see, this is an air bubble, and this is what's under the old skin. The old skin is very dry. When you put them in the tub, you'll find that on a regular basis, you'll see not just one of these, but many of them. So this is day one for his bath. And we've seen a few come out already. And if I can do this, I can actually touch these bubbles and see how easy they come to the surface. And what we're doing is trying to replace that air that's underneath the dry skin with moisture. So we'll spend the next 5 to 6 days. And you can usually tell when they're about to shed. His eyes have a blue film, or a film over the eyes right now, which creates a bluish color. And you'll eventually see that go back to clear. And you can be sure somewhere within 24 hours of his eyes going back to clear, that's when they're going to shed. So if you cannot afford or do not desire to have a hydration system put in their aquarium, this is the way to go. I'm not into ball python husbandry because there's so much misinformation when it comes to that sort of thing, such as placing newspaper down for them to crawl on. These snakes crawl on rocks. His aquarium is full of pea stones. And we're going to take a quick break to have a look at this. Now this is Romeo's aquarium, and as you can see, it's all pea stone. And what we have here is a tub that is approximately 14 inches long. It's about 9 inches wide. It's about 3 inches deep. And we make sure that this is emptied and cleared and cleaned about once a week, because when water sits too long and becomes stagnant, it actually turns to slime. You can actually feel it on the inside of the tub, and you eventually will see what looks like pink appearing in the water. and that pink is actually the slime coming from the sides of the aquarium. About once a month, I take this tub out, and I'll actually put about 2 large buckets of water in here to wash his rocks. I'll push all the rocks from this end all the way up to this end and make sure all the debris that's in with the rocks will actually travel down to this end here, where I can scoop it up and take it out. Usually the second bucket of water I'll pour in after I've taken all these rocks and pushed up to the other end. So your first bucket will go in like it is right now. Then the second bucket, make sure that you push all these rocks up to this end and pour the water over the rocks on this end. And any debris that's in the rocks will come down to this end of the aquarium right here. And it makes it much easier to scoop it out and clean it up. And make sure you sop up the very last of it. Romeo has always had 2 towels for something to crawl under to keep warm. And there's 2 of his towels there. At no time has his aquarium ever been cleaned with any kind of detergents or cleaners. We use nothing that is human-made to do any cleaning. Pure hot water to do the cleaning. Same for his towels. Our towels are constantly washed in hot water, and they're done usually twice a month because, of course, he's going to pee on them and sometimes use the bathroom on them. So we make sure that they always stay clean and sanitized. And again, no products such as any kind of cleaning products or anything like that are ever used. Matter of fact, Romeo, in all of his 22 years, has never crawled on the floor and has never been put outside to crawl on the grass. These are very dangerous things to do for your ball python. So a lot of things that you'll read or hear about in ball python husbandry is total BS. This is what you want. You can get these pea stones practically at any store that sells different types of rocks. You can actually buy them in the pet store. And this is what snakes crawl on, is rocks, not newspaper. You're not going to go to the places in Africa or India and see newspaper spread out everywhere and pythons all over it. So don't pay attention to ball python husbandry, because that is probably one of the most misinformation things you could ever get into. So we're going back to the tub here to see how he's doing. Now we leave him in here for about a period of about 15 minutes, and I stay with him because sometimes he will put his head underwater, and I have a fear of him leaving his head underwater too long and drowning. One time he did keep his head underwater a little too long, and when he came up, he just expelled a lot of water through his nostrils and stuff like that. You could tell that he wasn't sure exactly what was going on when it came to him being underwater. And here's another view of one of those bubbles I was talking to you about. I've owned snakes since I was a child. I'm in my 60s, close to 70. I've owned several pythons, and I think I know more about them than most ball python husbandry videos that you'll see out there. So, you know, if you want to hear more and see more about Romeo and what he's doing, he's probably one of the friendliest ball pythons, possibly one of the friendliest snakes on this planet. He's very super affectionate, very lovable, shows no signs of aggression. The only time he shows signs of aggression is when he goes to eat his food. After he actually has grabbed and killed and consumed his food, he goes back to his normal, lovable self. And I got no problem putting him in the hands of a child, or anybody for that matter, because I know how friendly he is. So if you want to know more about ball pythons, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Always check the check marks there on the bottom. And like I say, if you want to know more, if you have any questions about ball pythons or pythons in particular, feel free to ask. Like I say, I've been around them all my life. Probably the quietest pet, the easiest pet to maintain as you could ever possibly have. Okay, you all have a great day. Thank you for viewing.